G'day everyone, it's Sam, and welcome to Yoga for Men. I've named this series that for many reasons. One is because I'm a man and this is how I practice yoga. Another is one of my good friends, Flo, did a similar thing on his channel with really great results. I saw a lot of men really encouraged and involved in the practice. So I'll link Flo and his wife Bree's channel below. You can check them out. They put up some great stuff every week. At the moment they're in Thailand, so lots of beautiful scenery there. And also I want to, like I mentioned, encourage more men to the practice. I know it can be overwhelming if you go into a public class and you see lots of people doing crazy flexible and positions that you've never seen before. It can be super overwhelming. So this is a practice or a series that you can do from your own home whenever you want, whenever you've got some time to yourself, if that's more comfortable for you to practice by yourself. And I want to work to hit some of the problem areas that men tend to struggle with in the yoga practice. So opening up through the shoulders, some tension in the low back, and sometimes lots of struggles with external rotation in the hips. But we'll also play to the strengths that men tend to have when they come to the yoga practice, which is strength in the arms and shoulders and pushing strength, arm balancing and things like that. So we'll try and hit as much as we can over this series. We will be using some blocks, so if you've got them, get them ready and we'll get right into it. So like I mentioned, this series is called Yoga for Men. That doesn't mean that if you're not a man, you can't practice this series. It's just trying to get as much men in as we can. You rope them in with the name and hopefully they stay as long as they can for the yoga practice. So we're going to start nice and easy in a child's pose. So this is a pose that was really challenging for me when I first started practicing yoga. Top of the feet, two big toes are touching, knees are separated, and then we walk our arms forward with the intention of resting the forehead down onto the earth while sending the hips back towards the heels. Now this is a lot of compression in the hip flexors, and if you are tight through the hips, those hips are not going to want to go back. So if you have a block, you can separate your feet slightly, put the block on maybe the second height underneath the hips there, and then find the same pose. So arms walk forward, we drop the head down, let your arms be heavy for a moment and give yourself a few breaths here. So for the majority of the practice, we're going to work to breathe in and out through our nose, working to lengthen the breath. So breathing in and letting it out the same way through the nose. See if you can begin the breath from the very pit of the belly. So the belly will expand first. And the breath will start to travel up towards the chest, maybe in towards the throat and the back of the head. And as we exhale, and the belly hollows out, the navel starts to draw in and up. So we'll just take two more like that here. Maybe during this time you'd like to set yourself a particular intention or dedication for the practice. Something that will give your mind something to focus on if you feel your thoughts are racing throughout the practice. Nice work. As we come on up, if we have that block underneath us, we're going to remove it and just tuck the toes under. Press into the hands to send the hips back towards the heels. So it's a very slight adjustment. All we've done is tuck under the toes, but you'll feel that sensation really start to change. Now the bottoms of the feet, they hold a great deal of sensation that carries up the remainder of the body. So if we can get comfortable here, we can get comfortable in a lot of other areas of the practice. So just shifting the weight from side to side. Really feeling the bottoms of the toes stretching out, but then pushing into the palms. So we're getting used to the idea of the hands pressing away from the floor. Let your belly pull in towards the spine. If you feel your chest caving towards the floor, see if you can lightly push away. So you feel the shoulder blades draw away from each other. You feel a little more action in the midsection. Then from here, we're just going to continue to walk our hands backwards with the intention to lift the knees up off the mat. So for the moment, we're balancing on the balls of the feet. We've opened the knees just a touch, so we're getting a little more of that external rotation in the hips there, a little bit of that compression in the hip flexor, which I know can feel super uncomfortable, but is important for all over hip mobility. From this space, just popping up onto the fingertips, continuing to push into those fingertips. Feel the armpits hollow out, the shoulder blades draw apart. So this shape right here is getting us prepared for the shape of Malasana, the yogi squat, which can be absolutely torturous if you are tighter through the hips. So right here with the heels lifted is a great place to start. If you feel the space, keep walking the fingers back. Maybe the heels can ground down. Knees separate just a touch more. You can drop the forearms down onto the mat if your heels are grounded. If your heels are still lifted, keep working to press the fingertips in to lift away from the floor. So let your head drop. Let your eyes close. If the heels are grounded, gentle rock from side to side. So we're getting a beautiful flexion through the ankle joint, a stretch through the calves, and a little bit of strength through the front of the shins there. 2 more breaths. Last one. Nice work. From here, lift the heels. If they were grounded, come to all fours. We're going to work to open up through hips and shoulders at the same time, a little bit of multitasking. So keep that left leg where it is. The hands are underneath the shoulders. We're pushing away from the floor. We're going to extend the right leg out towards the right-hand side and ground that heel down. And then push down through your left hand. Inhale to reach your right arm up towards the sky. So we're pressing through that left hand to pivot the right shoulder up towards the ceiling a little more. You should be able to feel an opening in the inner left thigh. If you can, flex your left glute as well and try and push your pelvis forward to feel a deeper opening through the left hip there. Take a breath. And as we exhale, we're going to slice this right arm underneath the left. Taking it off to the left-hand side, bend your left elbow. See if you can lower your right cheek and right shoulder down onto the mat. So that right leg's out nice and long. We're going to try and turn the right toes in a little. Push down through the pinky toe. Flex the right quadricep. So as the thigh flexes, more opening through your inner right hip and a little more activity in the right leg. You can stay with left elbow bent and left palm pressing down, or walk your left hand forward. So pushing down through the back of your right hand and peeling your left armpit up towards the ceiling. We're getting a stretch through the right shoulder, the right hip, and a little bit of a twist as well. It can be tough to come into these deeper twists, so we're using a bit of gravity here to help with the action. Take a breath in. Stay for the exhale. If their left arm's out in front, walk it back in front of your eyes, push down through your left hand, inhale, right arm to sky, reach up. Exhale, right hand underneath the right shoulder, return that right leg back to where it was, knee underneath the hip. Then we come to the other side. Extend that left leg out towards the left-hand side. Push down through your right hand, inhale, reach your left arm up towards the sky. Flexing that right glute, trying to push the pelvis forward slightly. As you ground down through the left pinky toe, peel that left shoulder up a little higher. Full breath. And as we exhale, slice the left arm underneath the right, working to get left shoulder and left cheek onto the floor. You can stay right here, pressing down through the left pinky toe, flexing the left quad. If there's more space, walk that right arm forward. It just deepens the twist a little bit. You can pop up onto the right fingertips, pushing down through the back of the left hand, peeling that right armpit up towards the ceiling. More fun to say than it is to do. Peeling to the ceiling. Keep flexing that left quad. Feel that inner left thigh. See, we're thinking gracilis muscle, the muscle that runs all the way up into the groin. Always a place of exceptional tightness in my male friends. Take a breath. Stay for that breath out. And walk that right hand back to the face. Push down through the right hand. Inhale, left arm back up towards the sky. Then exhale, we take the left hand down underneath the left shoulder. Bring that right knee back to where it was. Walk your hands just one step out in front. Tuck the toes under. We'll come on back and meet in downward facing dog. So as you tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back. Now, a common problem we may have in a downward facing dog is we're tighter through the shoulders, so it almost ends up looking like a dodgy sort of plank position. So if that's the case, think less about straightening your legs and more about getting length from your wrists to your tailbone. So notice from my wrists to my shoulders is one line, then my shoulders to my tailbone is another line. We want that to be one line. So the way we can help that is by bending the knees, pushing through the hands. Send the chest back towards the thighs, the tailbone towards the sky. So now from wrist to tailbone is one long line. Then you've got two lines in the legs. You've got hips to knees, then knees to ankles. That's okay. Better to have length through the spine than length through the legs. The length in the legs will come later on. So the heels can stay lifted. If you're looking back towards your heels and you can see them moving in towards each other, see if you can shift them out a touch so the heels hide behind the toes. Take a breath here. Stay for the exhale. Then we're going to shuffle the right foot to the center. From here, inhale, reach your left leg up towards the sky. As you reach that left leg up, I want you to keep it straight, but start to roll the left hip open. So now the left toes are pointing out towards the left-hand side of the room. We're going to try and lift the left pinky toe as high as we can towards the ceiling. And then see if you can drive the right heel closer back towards the floor. So we're getting deeper stretch through the back of the right leg and the inside of the right thigh. Now from here, look forward. See if you can drop your right forearm down to the floor, bend your left elbow, and look under your left armpit. So you're really lengthening through the back of that right leg, the inside of the right thigh, and getting strength through your left glute and the right arm here. Take a full breath. Stay for the exhale. Then looking forward, we're going to push into that right palm, lift the right elbow back up off the mat, step the left foot next to right. We're back in downward facing dog. And when we arrive, left foot shuffles to center, inhale, reach the right leg up and back behind you. Rolling that right hip open, pointing the pinky toe up towards the ceiling, setting the left heel a little closer towards the floor, and then looking forward to lower left forearm down to the mat, and then bending right elbow to look underneath your right armpit. See if you can keep those right toes flexing towards the face. Elevate that right leg a little more. Say hello to your inner left thigh. Big breath in. Stay for the exhale. Then look forward, push into left palm, lift the left elbow. Come on back to downward facing dog. From here, we will walk our hands back towards our feet, allowing yourself just to be here in this forward fold for a moment. So feet hip width apart, bend into the knees, and then catch the elbows. I like to fold the arms here. You may feel more comfortable there. Just gentle rock from side to side. So we mentioned before that compression through the hip flexors can be a real challenge, that idea of getting the ribs and the thighs close towards each other. And bending into the knees is kind of hard to comprehend when there's so much going on. Sometimes we try and lock out through the legs and the torso ends up looking a little bit like this. If you notice, my ribs are nowhere near the thighs there. So best to bend the knees as much as you need. So you feel the ribs collapse on the thighs. And then everything sort of just melts. So the head's melting down towards the earth. Torso's melting onto the legs. Maybe the eyes melt close. And you just rock from side to side. Take a full breath in. Stay for the exhale. And dropping hands down towards the earth. We're going to take this nice and slow. The arms are heavy, the legs are heavy. Keep the head nice and heavy. Start to roll up to stand slowly. Keep the knees bent, the eyes closed, the head dropping down. Just articulate your spine the whole way up. Keeping the chin to the chest till the very last moment. We arrive. We pull the shoulders back towards each other. Drive down through the feet. Reach the crown of the head up towards the sky. You can keep the eyes closed here if you like. Pulling belly in towards the spine. So think you want to brace the belly like someone was about to punch you in the gut. So keep the core nice and tight, engaged. Flex the glutes. And hopefully that doesn't happen unless you're training your abdominals in a boxing gym or something like that. So brace through the core. Pull the ribs in, pull the belly in, flex the glutes. And really peel the shoulders back. So broaden through the heart space here if you can. Tadasana, mountain pose. Arms hang down, crown of head reaches up. Full breath. Stay for the exhale. Now keep everything we've worked on in the midsection there. Gently open your eyes and then drive down through your feet. The inhale will reach your arms forward first. As they reach up, press your hips slightly forward, lift your chest and look up towards your thumbs. Get a little more length through the front of your body, but keep your legs engaged, quads flex, glutes firm. Another breath. And as we exhale, we fold straight down the center. So reach your arms out in front, bend your knees as much as you need. Let your hands drop down onto the floor. Then on the inhale, we'll take a halfway lift. So keep the knees bent, come onto the fingertips, lengthen the spine forward. And then feet stay where they are. Walk your arms to the top of the mat. Let's come to a plank pose. So body moves in two directions in plank pose. Heels press back, chest moves forward. Notice how much more length we get through the spine there. Push down through the base of your thumb, wrap your biceps to the front of the room, brace through the core like we did in Tadasana. Inhale. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower your chest all the way to the floor in slow motion. Let your elbows hug in towards the body. Once the chest touches, press straight back up to the plank. Let's call that a push-up, and let's do 4 more of those. Lower the chest down towards the floor, keep the elbows drawing in towards the body, then press straight back up. That's 2. Lower chest all the way to the floor, brace the core, flex the glutes, press straight back up, and then 2 more in your own time. The intention is to go slow here. Nice one. Last one. Press all the way back up, and then drop your knees. Keeping the toes tucked under, we'll send the hips back towards the heels. Full breath in. And then on the exhale, we're going to spring into plank pose. So press through the hands, lift the knees, roll forward. Come through the plank, bend the elbows, slow motion, lower all the way to the floor. From here, tops of the feet press down. Shoulder blades roll back towards each other, knees lift. Inhale, lift the chest. Just like our push-ups, hug the elbows in towards each other. Imagine the hands were trying to scoot your chest forwards off the top edge of your mat rather than trying to push the chest to the back edge of the mat. Inhale here. Exhale, we lower down. That's Bhujangasana Cobra Pose. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees. Flex the quads, flex the glutes, pull the belly in, then push straight to the top of your plank. We'll come on back and find downward facing dog. Just shuffling the feet a little closer towards each other here. Remember, long line from wrist to tailbone. Bend the knees as much as you need. Take a breath. Stay for the exhale. Then inhale, reach the right leg straight up and back behind you, flexing the right toes towards your face. Scissoring the inner thighs towards each other, wrapping the right hip down so your hips stay square. Now push through the base of your thumb. Lift the left heel as high as you can. Take a breath. Then exhale, draw the right knee to the nose. Roll forward, step the right foot between the hands. Then come onto the fingertips, sit deep into your right thigh. Look back at the left foot. We're going to shuffle it about 6 inches to the left-hand side. Drop the back heel down. If you look at your left toes, you want them facing up towards the top left-hand corner of your mat in a 45-degree angle. Sit deep into your right thigh. From here, we're going to take our right hand on to the right thigh. Push to lift ourselves up and take your left hand around your left hip. So our intention here is to use your left hand to wrap your left hip forward and then use your right hand to keep the right knee over the second toe. So if we were to wrap the left hip forward without worrying about the right leg, the right knee would just start to fall off to the right-hand side and we'd topple over. So keeping right knee over the second toe, sit deep, keep wrapping that left hip forward. Pushing down through the pinky toe of the left foot, flexing your left glute. And once you feel as though the hips are squaring as best they can, if they're not, you just shuffle the right foot a little more to the right-hand side, give yourself more space in the hips there. Glutes are firm, we sit deep. When you're ready, reach the arms up. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a hand today, interlace the fingers, make a pistol, and then sit deep into that right thigh, bend the elbows, look up, reach the arms back up towards the sky, so re-straighten your arms there. You're pulling belly into spine, bracing the core. You're driving the right thigh down, but trying to keep the left leg as straight as you can for warrior one. If you feel like you can, maybe take the elbows or the biceps in line with the ears, maybe even slightly behind. Drive that right thigh down a little more. Reach the arms up even higher. Feel the opening through the front of your left hip, keeping that left glute nice and firm. Take a full breath. Stay for the exhale. Then we gently release the hands. Take them down to the mat, either side of the right foot. You're going to lift the left heel up off the mat, pull the right knee to chest, and just stay here for a minute. Pressing away from the floor, resisting gravity, pulling belly in towards the spine. From here, starting to lean a little more weight into the right hand. Look back at your left foot, drop the left heel, start to reach the left arm up towards the sky, but keep that right knee in towards the chest. Push through the right hand, lift the hips a little higher, feel the right side obliques starting to activate. Maybe challenge the balance by gazing up towards the left hand. We're going to be here for 5. For 4, you can straighten that right leg if you want to. For 3, for 2, then on 1. Roll onto the left toes, step the right leg back to plank pose, ground the left hand. Press the heels back, move the chest forward, take a breath. Anywhere between 1 and 5 push-ups. 1, 2, remember elbows draw in, chest all the way to the floor. 3, for 4. Then on 5, we press to the top, drop the knees. Inhale, send the hips all the way back towards the heels. Exhale, spring through your plank, slow motion lower to the floor. And come through Bhujangasana, tops of feet press down, shoulders roll back. Inhale, lift your chest. Then exhale, drop the head down. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, another push-up, hug the elbows in, press to the top of the plank. Come on back and find your downward facing dog, walking the feet a little closer towards each other. Nice one. Inhale, reach the left leg straight up and back, flex the toes towards you, keep the left hip wrapping down, hips nice and square. Then elevate the right heel, draw the left knee in towards the chest, look forward, roll forward, land that left foot just inside the left thumb. Pop onto fingertips, sit deep in the left thigh, look back at the right foot. About 6 inches to the right-hand side. So the reason we're taking the feet wider today is so naturally we have more space to square the hips towards the front of the room. You want those right toes facing up towards the top right-hand corner. If you need more space, just shuffle the left foot out a little more. Drive the hips down. Left hand on top of the left thigh, right hand around the right hip. So again, we're working to wrap the back hip forward and keep the front knee over the second toe. So you use your hands to manually understand what that feels like. Right hip wrapping forward, left knee over second toe. Back pinky toe pushing down, back glute firm. Front thigh super duper active here. And once you feel like you're as square as you're going to get right now, interlace those fingers, reach the arms up. So they may be on that 45-degree angle, that is okay. You may want to rebend the elbows, lift them higher, and then re-straighten the arms. If they're on that 45, that's all good. If you look a little bit more like this, Doesn't matter in the slightest. Keep sitting deeper. Keep wrapping that hip forward, flexing that glute. Take a breath. Hold for the exhale. And so gently release your arms. Lower them down to earth, either side of the left foot. Back heel will lift. You hug the left knee in towards the chest. Push away from the floor. Draw the navel in. And then from here, we lean the weight into the left hand. Look back at that right foot. Drop the back heel. Inhale, reach the right arm up towards the sky. Keep pressing to lift the hips. The more you lift the hips, the more activation you're going to feel in the left side obliques. You can challenge the balance by gazing up, if you like. Be here for 5. For 4, if you did on the previous side, straighten the leg. Keep the toes flexing for 3. For 2, on 1. Right hand to the mat, roll onto the right toes. Step back to plank. You guessed it, we're going for another 5 push-ups. Press the heels back, move the chest forward. Let's do it. 1, 2, elbows draw in. 3, chest all the way to the floor. 4, on 5, drop the knees and the hips back towards the heels. Inhale. Exhale, spring through the plank, slow motion, lower to the floor. This time a little different. So we're setting up for Cobra Pose again. Tops of feet pressed down, shoulders roll back, knees lift. Inhale, press through the hands to lift the chest. This time keep lifting, push through the hands to straighten the arms and lift the thighs up and off the earth for upward facing dog. So thighs lifting, belly pulling in, chest moving forward, crown of the head reaching up. Take a breath. And the exhale, lift the hips up and back. Untuck your toes, or tuck your toes under, I should say. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Once we arrive, we'll lower the knees down towards the mat. We're going to locate our blocks. So a common problem, I know, speaking from personal experience I had first starting the practice, and I see a lot of men struggle with, is just lifting the arms up and overhead, finding that flexion through the shoulder joint. And that's a lot of the yoga poses. Downward facing dog, Urdhva Hastasana, think warrior pose, warrior 1, dolphin pose. There's a lot of flexion through the shoulders. So one little movement that I found really helped myself in my practice and may help you as well is this preparation for dolphin pose. So if you have your blocks, we're going to set them onto the second height, shoulder width apart. So if you just set your shoulders above them and look down, you want to line those blocks up. I'm going to walk my knees in a little close, sit the hips back towards the heels, then work to set my elbows down onto the blocks. Then once I do, we're going to press the palms together to start with, because pressing the palms together and really pressing the palms, you'll see the muscles of the arms start to activate. So think biceps and triceps. If biceps and triceps are active, there's less tension that's going to be put onto your shoulder capsule. So press the palms together, flex the muscles of the upper arm, then walk your knees back a touch, send your hips back towards your heels, drop your head down and take your thumbs just to rest against the base of your neck. Now, notice, like we did in that child's pose with the toes tucked under at the start of practice, instead of everything just caving down towards the floor, we want to resist the gravity a little bit. So we flex the muscles of the upper arm, we drive through the elbows to find this element of lift. So that's bringing us out of the shoulder joint just a touch. It's giving us more activation in the arms. It's giving us a deeper stretch through the tricep, through the lats. We'll keep belly button drawing in, brace through the core, draw the ribs towards each other. So keep everything working. This is not a passive stretch, my friends. This is active stretching. So keep flexing, keep driving the elbows down. Keep pulling the navel in. Maybe the front edge of the blocks will start to lift up. That's completely fine as long as you feel balanced. And there, we'll just be here for 10. For 9, bend the elbows a little more. For 8. For 7, maybe chin can draw to chest a little more. For 6. For 5. 4, for 3, 2, then on 1. Just straighten your arms about halfway, lift your head through the arms, and then press to lift your chest back up. Untuck your toes, send your hips all the way back towards your heels. And we'll interlace the hands behind the back. Roll the shoulder blades towards each other, slide the fists down the back of the hips, lift the chest. It should feel great on the shoulders there. So just work to interlace the fingers, but keep your palms separated. That'll feel a little more comfortable there. And then with the palms separated, we work to wrap the biceps forward, finding a little more external rotation through the shoulder. And once again, just drawing the chin towards the chest. Take a full breath. One more like that, breathe in. Gently let it go. And then you rebend your elbows, gently separate your hands. Pop the blocks off to the side. We are going to prepare for Dolphin Pose, excuse me. So like we did before on the blocks, we're going to press the palms together because that gives us more activation through the muscles of the upper arm. So we press the palms against each other, flex the biceps and triceps, push away from the floor. Then draw the chin in towards the chest. Look at your own toes first. Fantastic. If you can see the toes fine, look at your own belly button. Make sure there's enough room that your head isn't touching the floor. Instead, it's pushing away from the floor. If you want, take the elbows a little closer. With the toes tucked under, we lift the hips up nice and high. Work to walk the feet in just a little bit closer. So because biceps and triceps are flexing, we can press down a little more and lift the head further away from the floor. We're going to be here for a little bit. So try and enjoy it. Play with the feet. You might want to take them wider, take them more narrow. You might want to lift the heels or lower the heels towards the floor. Whatever works for you, as long as shoulders are stacked above the elbows, chin's drawing to chest, and head is not touching the floor. We'll be here for about 10 breaths, that is, not 10 seconds. If you are more familiar with the practice and you wanted to take it further, you'd look between the forearms, take one leg to the sky, and with a gentle hop off the grounded leg, maybe you find a little bit of hang time there, upside down. But if that is not in your practice, just stay there in your dolphin pose. Be there for about 4 more breaths. If you're upside down, keep pressing through the forearms, flexing the muscles of the arms, bracing through the core, keeping the glutes nice and firm. When you're ready, if you are upside down, return one leg back to the floor, then the next. And take one last breath here in dolphin. Stay for the exhale. And lower the knees, untuck the toes like we did before. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Wrap the biceps forward, lift the chest, slide the fists down the back of the hips. Full breath in. Open the mouth. 2 more like that. Breathe in. Last one. Nice one. From here, just release your arms and just start to find a gentle sway forwards and back. So although we came from shoulder flexion and then undid it straight into some shoulder extension, the shoulders may still be feeling tense. So we're just going to find some natural range of motion here. Just let the arms swing back and forth, let a little bit of blood flow back down towards the fingers. And after the arms start to feel a little more acclimated and ready, we're going to take it straight back into downward facing dog. So ground the palms down, press through the base of the thumb, wrap the biceps forward, tuck the toes, lift the hips up nice and high. Walk the feet a little closer to one another. Push through the left foot. Inhale, reach the right leg straight up and back behind you, flexing the right toes towards the face. Then elevate the left heel, draw the right knee to chest, look forward, step the right foot between the hands. From here, come onto the fingertips, sit deep into the right thigh. Drop the back heel down, preparing for warrior one again. We're just going to take the hands straight up towards the sky this time. So drive the right thigh bone down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Let's just take the palms together this time. Look up towards the thumbs. Wrapping, left hip forward, sitting deep into right thigh. So imagine you still had your hands around your hips and on top of your thigh, but you don't. So left hip wrapping forward, right thigh sitting lower. Drive the arms up, pull the navel in, take a breath. Then exhale, fingertips either side of the right foot. Once we get there, we're going to lift the back heel up off the mat. We're going to ground down through the right foot, keep it solid. And then take a spring off the left foot. We're going to bring the left knee to the chest and straighten through the right leg. So this is a little preparation for a standing split here. I want you to think of this almost like a flamingo. So you're really bending through that left knee, squeezing the left heel in towards the glute, grounding down through the base of your right big toe. So try not to let all the weight fall off onto the right hand side of your right foot. Instead, keep it more towards the inside of the foot. And then from here, walk your fingers maybe about 20 centimeters in front of the right foot. On the inhale, straighten your arms, lift your chest, and extend your left leg back behind you. So that's the breath in. Then on the exhale, re-bend the elbows, drop the head, bring the left knee to chest. Nice one. Inhale, straighten the arms, straighten the leg, lift the chest. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knee, drop the head. Nice one. One more like that. Inhale, lift and straighten. Exhale, lower and bend. Now this is the fun part, standing split. Keep your torso where it is. So elbows bent, head dropping down. Just re-straighten your left leg. Woo! And feel all that sensation up the back of your right leg. Keeping the weight through the inside of your right foot there. Keeping the head dropping nice and heavy, looking back at your left foot. You want left hip wrapping down, toes pointing down towards the floor. Nice one. And then from here, with that left leg straight and lifted, inhale, we lift the chest, straighten the arms. And if you wanted to take it further, take your palms in towards heart center, thumbs press against the sternum, then work to elevate and lift that chest so it's parallel towards the floor. Strengthening through that outer right glute, wrapping that left hip down. We're going to be here for a full inhale. Stay for the breath out. Now take your arms out towards the side like you're Tom Cruise from Mission Impossible, trying to avoid the floor. We're going to rebend the left knee. Take the left knee to the outside of the right calf. Then without using the hands, top of the left foot will ground down. We'll start to sit all the way to the floor. If everything worked out perfectly, you've got your left foot to the outside of the right hip. The right foot's grounding flat with the outside of the right ankle on top of your left thigh. Take the right hand behind you. Inhale, reach your left arm up towards the sky. And exhale, hook the elbow over the thigh. Take a gentle twist back over your right shoulder. So these twists can be super challenging. There's a lot going on through the thoracic portion of your spine. So instead of the chest sort of caving and falling forward, we're trying to peel the shoulder blades back towards each other, open up through the chest, and then gazing back over that right shoulder to finish off the twist from crown of head all the way down towards the tailbone. Important to breathe, especially when twisting, so let your inhale lift you taller, and your exhale twist you more. Use your right hand for support here. If you feel yourself falling, push down to lift. Last breath. Stay for the exhale. And we'll gently unravel to the other side. Take your fingertips off to the left, bend your elbows, just let your head drop down towards the floor. Just countering that twist. And we'll push down through the hands, come on back to center. So we are going to come back to that standing split variation. There is an option here to do it all without using the hands if you like. If you want to use your hands, you just set your fingertips down in front of you. But once again, I'm going to channel my inner Tom Cruise from Mission Impossible. So take the arms out by the side, squeeze the elbows in towards each other. Lean forward to lift. And then push down through that right foot. Lean the chest down in front. Extend the left leg back behind you. From the standing split variation, chest is lowering down towards the floor, left hip is wrapping down. Pull the shoulder blades back towards each other. Inhale, lift your chest, come to that warrior three, preparation or variation. Then bend in to your right knee, soften your left toes to the back of the mat. Whew. Set the left knee down onto the earth, inhale, reach the arms straight up towards the sky, press the palms together. Flex that left glute, drive the hips down, inhale, reach the arms up a little more. Then on the exhale, send your hips back, straighten that right leg, flex the right toes towards your face. So coming into Ardha Hanuman or half split. Right toes flex towards you. We lift the chest by straightening the arms and wrapping the biceps forward. Inhaling here. Exhale, bend the elbows to lower the head and chest. 2 more times like that. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. See if you can keep those right toes flexing towards you. Last time, inhale, we rise. Exhale, we lower. Now from here, shuffle the hands back so they're underneath your shoulders. Stay up on the fingertips. Push away from the floor. Keep the arms nice and straight. Then looking at the right leg, just lift it up and off the earth. Pull the belly in towards the spine. Be here for 5. For 4, keep the quad flex. For 3, lift the leg a little higher. For 2, then on 1. Slide that right leg back next to the left. Walk the arms out in front. Set them down flat, and we're coming back to downward facing dog. Single breath in. Stay for the exhale. And we'll get stuck into that left side. Inhale, reach the left leg straight up and back. Flex the toes, lift it higher. Then exhale, pull that left knee to chest as we deliver the left leg forward between the hands. Come onto the fingertips, sit deep into the left thigh, preparing for warrior 1. Right foot grounds down. We wrap the left hip forward, sit deep in that left leg. Then inhale, reach the arms straight up towards the sky. Set the palms to touch. Remember, imagine you had your hands on the hips there. Wrap the right hip forward, sit deep in the left thigh, then reach the arms up a little higher. Feel the opening through the front of the right hip. Just allow yourself to enjoy and be in the pose, whether it's uncomfortable or it's challenging. It's happening nonetheless, so you might as well try and embrace it. Take a breath. Sit deeper as you breathe out. Then reach the arms up a little higher. Final breath in. And as we exhale, fingertips either side of the left foot. We're going to start to shuffle the left foot a little more to the center. Lift the right heel up off the mat. Preparing for that standing split variation. So we take a little hop off the right foot, draw the right knee to chest, and straighten through the left leg once again, resembling that flamingo right now. So right heel squeezing into butt, knees drawing to chest, elbows are bending, head is dropping. And then we just walk those hands a little further out in front, ground down through the inside of that left foot. On the inhale, we are going to straighten the arms, lift the chest, then work to push the right heel back behind us, keeping the leg nice and straight, wrapping that right hip down. Inhaling. Exhale, bend the elbows, drop the head, rebend the knee. Nice one. Inhale to straighten the arms, lift the chest, straighten the leg. Exhale, rebend and fold. One more time like that. Inhale to straighten and lift. Exhale to bend and lower. Then to come into standing split, we keep the torso as it is. If there's space, ground the palms. Then work to re-straighten that right leg, but keep the torso folding. Keep the head dropping, the ribs moving towards the thighs. Flex the right toes towards you, push the heel backwards. Feel that deep sensation through the outside of your left thigh. And then to take it one step further, we lift the chest. You can stay right here if you like, or set the palms in towards the heart. Push through the left foot. Try and elevate the chest halfway. Nice straight line from crown of head to back heel. Weight through the inside of the left foot. Crown of the head extends forward. Right heel pushes back. Take a breath. Stay for the exhale. Now channel the Tom Cruise, arms out to the side, hug the elbows in. As you rebend the right knee moves to outside of left calf. Top of right foot presses down, we lower to the floor. Nice one. And then come into our twist. Left hand behind you, inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, hook the elbow and twist. So using everything we have here to our advantage. The left foot staying grounded and flat. Left knees pointing up to sky. Right elbow's pushing to lift the chest and twist us back over the left shoulder. Left shoulder blade is wrapping back to give us more space through the chest, and left hand is pushing down to lift and elevate us up a little more. Take a breath. Twist more on your exhale. Important to keep that belly nice and heavy during your exhale. Take one more. And as we unravel and come to the other side, fingertips off to the right hand side, bend the elbows, just lower your chest down towards the floor. We're coming up to rise. Once again, we're going to come back to standing split. Hands or no hands, the choice is yours. If we're not using hands, we're going to lean forward, press into that right knee, lift the hips off the floor, and then keep those arms out by the side, extend the right leg back behind you, flex the right toes. I forgot how to speak there for a moment. Happens all the time. Start to slowly lift your chest, keep hugging the elbows back towards each other, take a breath. And on the exhale, we come back to the lunge, right toes to the back of the mat, soften the right knee down. Then inhale, reach your arms forwards and up, drive your hips forward and down. Reach your arms up and back. Full inhale here. And as you exhale, we come to half split. So the hips move back, the left leg straightens, and we use our hands either side of the left foot here, keeping that dorsiflexion in the left ankle, flexing the toes towards the face. Wrap the biceps forward, straighten the arms, lift the chest as you breathe in. Then exhale, bend the elbows to lower. Youch, say hello to your hamstring. I'm sure it's starting to feel a little more active length now. Inhale to rise. Flex the left quad through the mix as well if you can. Exhale, we lower. Nice one. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we lower. Wiggle the toes, see if they're still alive, see if that foot is still flexing. And when it is time to slowly make our way out, we straighten the arms, walk the hands or the fingertips rather underneath the shoulders. Keep that left foot flexing. Then channel your inner superhero. Push away from the floor. Magical levitation as we lift the left foot up and off the earth. Be here for 5. Exhale for 4. 3, lift the leg higher for 2. And then on 1, left leg back next to the right. I'm going to take it in just to a closed knee child's pose. So take the knees together, arms down by the side. Rest the back of the hands on the earth. Let your head drop down nice and heavy. From here, we'll start to sit the hips back on top of the heels. It won't be long before we're down on our bottom and we won't get back up. I'm going to give you an option to get down onto the floor a little more actively if that's something you want to play with in your practice. The idea of the tuck jump, holding that tuck shape in a handstand. It's a lot of fun. Staying nice and small in that tuck shape is a little less scary than trying to get your legs straight up towards the sky. So one thing I want you to remember, and this is something we've been working on throughout the practice, is compression through the hips, ribs, draw to thighs. And this is just like the shape of this closed knee child's pose. The only difference in a tuck handstand is our arms would be extended out in front of us. The wrists would be extended So press your palms to the front of the mat and then look between your palms. So right now, you're in a tuck handstand. We just need to flip it 90 degrees. So think heels to butt, knees to chest. Elevate the shoulder blades. So shrug your shoulders up towards your ears and look between your hands. Nice one. So if we want to take that into the handstand shape, we come to a downward facing dog. Walk the feet one step closer. Get the hips up nice and high. Push through the base of the thumb. Elevate the shoulder blade. Shrug the shoulders towards the ears. Then gaze between your hands. So we'll go for around 5 attempts. If you catch it on the first attempt, you can hold it for around 5 breaths. Otherwise, you just keep trying. Remember, think knees to chest, heels to butt, gaze between the hands, rather than trying to get the legs straight up in the air. So look forward. On the inhale, we lift the heels and bend the knees. And on the exhale, take a gentle hop. Knees draw to chest, heels draw to butt, gaze between the hands. If you're just hopping, keep the arms nice and straight, but keep those knees in towards the chest. We'll be here for 5, for 4, 3, for 2, on 1. We're going to work to come on down and sit on the bottom. Nice work. So keeping the left leg out nice and long, bend up the right knee, pop sole of the right foot inside the left thigh. Sitting up nice and tall, gently turning your torso over your left leg. Inhale, reach your arms straight up. Then exhale, we'll fold over that left thigh. So if you can catch the foot, fantastic. If you can't, just let the hands drop it down. We're getting an opening through the right hip, length through the back of the right leg, a gentle twist as we work to turn the ribs over the left thigh a little, and a forward fold as well. So we'll take 3 breaths here. Your head drop nice and heavy if you can. 2 more like that. Last one, full breath in. And then while our legs are like this, we're going to take a very gentle twist just because it feels amazing down the low back. So if you can, take your right hand to the outside of the left foot, right hand to the outside of the left foot, that was. If that's not available, you can just take your right hand to the outside of the left shin. And just walk your left fingertips out towards the left-hand side. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, start to twist back over the left shoulder. Just a little, not a lot. Feel this deeper stretch through the right side of your lats, into your obliques, down into the erector spinae. And to come on out of that shape, right hand's going to press back behind you. We push into the right shin to lift the hips and reach the left arm up and overhead. If you feel like that left arm needs support, bend the elbow, take the hand to the base of the neck, then peel your left armpit up towards the ceiling. Take a full breath. Then exhale, we lower down the same way we came up and just swap the legs. So right leg extends, sole of left foot inside the right thigh. We turn the torso over our right leg, inhale, arms up. Then exhale to bow forward. Again, if you catch the foot, happy days. If you don't, also happy days. It doesn't really matter. You're just going to be here for around 3 breaths, working to extend the length of the spine down the length of the leg, losing the rounding through the upper back. Imagine you're trying to present your chest or your collarbones towards your toes. Keeping the foot engaged along the way. Inhale. Let it out. 2 more. Last one. And as we slowly rise back up, we're going to take that gentle twist. So left hand to the outside of the right something, whether that's the foot or the calf, it doesn't matter. Right fingertips out towards the right hand side. Inhale, lift that chest. Exhale, gentle twist back over your right shoulder. Spread the shoulder blades away from each other. Lift that chest a little higher. Last breath. Exhale, we twist. Then to unravel, left hand behind the hips. Push to elevate the hips, reach the right arm back behind you. Really opening up through the front of the body, getting some extension through the spine, more opening through the front of those hips. Take the right hand to the base of the skull, peel the right armpit up towards the ceiling. Full breath here together. Then exhale, lower your hips down. Nice work. You're going to set the hands behind your hips, have the fingers turning out to either side. Bend up your knees, ground the feet down flat. Then pressing through the hands and feet, we're going to peel the shoulder blades back towards each other, push to lift the hips, coming to this reverse tabletop shape. Working as best we can to wrap the shoulder blades back towards each other, pushing down through the base of the hand to lift the hips as high as the knees and the shoulders. That's the intention anyway. Brace through the core, flex the glutes, lift the hips up a little bit higher. Just be here for 3 breaths. You can keep the chin to chest if you like, or gently extend the crown of the head backwards and gaze up. Last breath. And then gently lift your toes up off the mat. As you lower your bottom, try and lower your bottom closer towards your hands. And then we're going to finish just in an easy cross-legged seat, if that is comfortable for you. If not, feel free to take a block and just elevate your hips slightly. So we're going to finish off just with some breathing. So I want you to get yourself into the most comfortable seat you can find, somewhere where your hips are slightly more elevated than your knees, your spine is long, the crown of the head is reaching high. You'll close the eyes, sorry. The practice of yoga can give us many, many things. Of course, there is the physical benefits, the strength, the stability that can be gained, flexibility. But it also, more importantly, gives us this chance for introspection. This chance to look under the hood, as it were. Try and find out a little more about what's going on inside. Now that can be scary. It can be uncomfortable. Which is why we get comfortable breathing throughout the practice, and we team that with the movement. So the physical practice is designed to prepare the body for seated meditation. And we spend the length of the practice teaming the breath and the movement together. So we have a little more understanding of how the body is working and how the breath is traveling. So when it comes time to be still, we're a little more equipped to be able to understand just how it is we're feeling. And the practice of yoga can be daunting, can be scary, it can be very liberating, it can be powerful. And my intention for this series is to encourage as many men as possible to fall in love with the practice, to fall in love with themselves, and to be able to uncover or unravel more layers of themselves. Perhaps they didn't even know were there. So to finish off, we're just going to make our way through a few rounds of box breathing. So every portion of our breath will run for a cadence of 4. So think inhaling for a count of 4, holding the top of the inhale for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 4, then holding the bottom of the exhale for that count of 4. In this breath retention we call kumbhaka. The inward breath retention, antara kumbhaka, and the outward breath retention, baya kumbhaka. Both are so powerful. Give us so much space, so much time to explore. So I want you to really value every single portion of the breath as you make your way through these rounds of box breathing together. The first few rounds I'll call us through, and then you begin to move by yourself. When you get started, just pull your shoulders back, reach the crown of the head up, very slightly draw the chin to chest. And whatever air you have in your system right now, just gently part your lips, let it go. And then we'll start our first round. So inhaling for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the top. 2, 3, 4. Begin your exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold the bottom. 3, 2, 1. We start again. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold the top. 2, 3, 4. Release. 3, 2, 1. Hold the bottom. 3, 2, 1. And again. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Holding the top. 2, 3, 4. Beginning your exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold the bottom. 3, 2. I want you to begin again in your own time. Making your way through around 3 to 5 full rounds of box breathing. Nothing more needs to be said. Nothing more needs to be done. You're just exploring your own vessel through the power of your own breath. The video will stop by itself after your 3 to 5 rounds. I invite you to sit in complete stillness for a minute or so. A sense of gratitude for yourself and for the practice. As always, from me to you, with many thanks, peace.